No mai, haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. There are calls for the government to urgently review its $24 million of funding for Gumboot Friday, after Mike King said alcohol was a solution for people with mental health problems. It comes as other community mental health providers cry out for more funding after their government contracts with agencies like Oranga Tamariki were cut. Senior political correspondent Jenna Lynch has the story.
Fresh from a countrywide tour, Mike King has gained nationwide attention ahead of his big fundraising day tomorrow, Gumboot Friday, but for the wrong reasons.
Alcohol is not a problem for people with mental health issues. It's actually the solution to our problem.
Mike King, government-funded mental health advocate, saying alcohol is a solution to mental health problems.
I would suggest to you that alcohol has prevented more young people from taking their own lives, that it actually takes their own lives.
The government's 2021 inquiry into mental health and addiction found harmful alcohol use played a role in at least half of youth suicides.
It's completely wrong to say that it's not a risk factor for suicide. I know in my own situation that I attempted to take my own life when I was very drunk, and if I hadn't been drunk, I probably wouldn't have taken that step.
King later told 3 News he meant drugs and alcohol are not a problem to addicts, they are a solution to our problem until a proper solution can be found.
What Mike was trying to say about how people use alcohol when they're really struggling was totally valid. But I think we need to also bring in the science, the research, the expert voices.
The Mental Health Minister said he disagreed with King on the alcohol comments, while the Health Minister hadn't seen the comments when we asked him.
Look, I would need to see exactly what statements were made to offer a authoritative view on that. We respect the work that Mike has done.
This is exactly why mental health programs should be funded based on a really good process, good robust evidence, not political backroom wheeling and dealing.
Meanwhile, other community providers are screaming out for more funding. Oranga Tamariki cut their contract with home builders in Warkworth in July, and no other government has stepped in to fund their counselling services.
Someone doesn't pick up the contracts, the result's inevitable that there'll be a lot of people getting into worse and worse situations in terms of their mental health, and the impact on young people, the impact on kids is just going to snowball.
It's the job of the Mental Health Minister to be asking those agencies what the impact of any cuts are from them on mental health services.
Well, this year we will spend $2.6 billion on the mental health ring fence funding. That is an increase of $200 million from the previous year.
And there are more concerns being raised about the mental health system as police start to pull away from attending mental health call-outs. Police are due to formally withdraw from attending what they deem non-urgent mental health call-outs from Monday next week. But leaked documents obtained by 3 News show only an interim standard operating procedure has been developed for health staff.
Mental Health Minister Matt Ducey wouldn't take our questions on it during an interview yesterday.
I think we've probably done our dash around.
The interim guidelines say police should only be called if the level of seriousness reaches the threshold of criminality, and before calling police to inpatient services, health staff must try de-escalation techniques, moving to low stimulus area, medical intervention, security teams, getting family to help, and removing staff and other consumers from the area.
The national government are building the plane while they're flying it, and that's just not acceptable when it comes to safety.
Health New Zealand says advice to clinicians would evolve into a finalised operating procedure once changes come into force, with staff input and feedback.
Well, Jenna joins us now. Kia ora, Jenna. What else has Health New Zealand said about the upcoming changes?
So this is being done in 4 phases. The first on the 4th of November, that's next Monday, will include police pulling back from voluntary handovers at emergency departments, as well as mental health transportation requests and police attendance at mental health facilities. The second phase will include police giving themselves a time limit for staying in ED with a patient who has been detained under the Mental Health Act but transported by police. They will only stay with them for for an hour, and they will also tighten up the rules around mental health assessments while in police custody. But 3 News can tonight reveal that those second phase has been delayed. It was supposed to happen in January next year, but it has been paused until March so that further planning can take place. Health New Zealand told us because of the phased way this is being rolled out, it is doing its planning in a phased way as well, so it can learn along the way. We've also got a statement through from the Health Ministry on Mike King, which says that I Am Hope, Mike King's charity, is currently meeting all of its contractual obligations. It says it's providing detailed reporting to the Ministry of Health, and while it is too early yet for an audit, the contract does allow for an audit of I Am Hope and the services it delivers.
OK, and Jenna, you've got some other news for us tonight from the Auditor General.
That's right. The Auditor General announced this afternoon that he was going to do an inquiry into the fast-track consent process, specifically around how ministers' conflicts of interest were both identified and managed during that process. The opposition has made a lot of noise about this, raising concerns about donors to political parties getting projects on that fast-track approvals list. The ministers were initially pretty secretive about how that was handled. They eventually, under pressure, became a little bit more transparent about it, but now with this Auditor General inquiry, a proper ruler will be run over that conflicts of interest process.
OK, thank you for that update, Jenna. And remember, if anything from Jenna's story raised issues for you, help is available any time of the day or night by calling or texting 1737.